I got home from vacation a week early, thanks to a tropical storm that tossed airline schedules around like confetti. And the first thing I saw was a banner stretched across the stone pillars at the end of my driveway. Lakeside Summer Bash, Saturday 10 a.m. I stood there in the rain, suitcase still in hand, thinking, well, this'll be interesting, because Saturday was tomorrow, and this was my land. Even through the drizzle, I could see it all colored lights looped between my trees, like some low-budget carnival sprinkler flags poked into the grass, and something humming loud beyond the orchard. I hadn't even made it to the front porch, and already my private meadow was halfway through being turned into a community fairground. I walked down towards the noise past my peach tree's flashlight in hand. The grass was wet, tall, soft, and still, like it was trying to apologize for what was happening on top of it. At the far end, the field opened wide, and there it was, folding tables. An inflatable pirate ship giant speakers pointed in all directions. A rental truck blinking its hazards, and volunteers hammering rebar into the soil like they were raising a tent at a county fair. That's when I locked eyes with her clipboard lady in a turquoise poncho, waving like I was a lost friend. "You must be Charlie," she said, sloshing over like this was all totally normal. "I'm Jenny, the HOA event chair. We didn't think you'd be back till the end of the month." "Yeah," I said flat. Surprise. "What's going on here?" "Oh, just setting up for tomorrow's bash games. Food trucks, fireworks. It's all in the newsletter." I stared at her. "I don't get the newsletter," I said. "Because I'm not in the HOA." She blinked like someone just pulled the plug on the light behind her eyes and said, "But your property is part of the expanded easement area." I just looked at her. "No, it's not. The HOA boundary ends at the hedgerow up the hill. Everything past that, that's mine." "Well," she stammered, flipping through a plastic sleeve. "We have a permission slip. Your gardener signed it." I took a look. Sure enough, Marvin. Blue, ink-shaky signature. I almost laughed. Marv mows the grass once a week so his wife can have the living room quiet. He doesn't have the authority to give away my land. Now folks were starting to notice. One guy unloading foam swords muttered something about me ruining everything. That's when Tom showed up, bucket hat, windbreaker, strong handshake I didn't take. "Let's be reasonable," he said. "This field is perfect, flat, visible, safe. We're insured we've got vendors arriving at dawn. The community's counting on this." I pointed my flashlight right at the pirate ship. "And you're trespassing." He held up a finger like he was gonna lecture me. "Look, we tried calling you. Your phone had some international ringtone because I was on vacation." He sighed like I was being difficult. "Okay, what do you need to feel comfortable? I need all of you off my property. Tonight. No event tomorrow. Then we'll talk damages." The volunteers stopped what they were doing. Murmurs started. Jenny tried again. We passed out flyers. No one complained. Passing out flyers to other people's houses isn't consent. That's gossip. I was tired, wet, and furious, but I didn't raise my voice. I just turned and walked back up to the barn. I switched on the floodlights, hitched my ATV to a garden cart, and came back with bundles of cedar fence posts. One by one, I planted them at the property line like silent exclamation points. The volunteers scattered and they ran for their cars. Others tried to pack up quietly. The pirate ship collapsed in slow motion like a dying jellyfish. Tom marched over again. "This really necessary?" "Yep," I said, pointing at the old survey pin capped in yellow plastic. "Original marker. county records confirm it. That night, I documented everything: muddy ruts, broken turf, unplugged cables. Sent it to my insurance agent, copied the zoning office. Next morning, HOA social feeds were melting down: venue changed, event postponed, no explanation, just panic. By noon, Tom was back on my porch with a manila envelope. Settlement draft, he said. We spent 2 hours going over it. I insisted on 3 things: full restoration of the land, written admission that the HOA had no easement rights, and a donation to the local veterans shelter equal to what they'd spent on the aborted party. He balked. I reminded him the shelter was within HOA bounds. Good PR for their next newsletter. They signed it all. A week later, Irma, the HOA treasurer, told me they'd voted to remove Tom. Apparently, my little file of invoices, photos, and repair estimates spoke louder than any argument he made. He resigned, citing family reasons. Sure, that's when Lisa took over, new interim president. One afternoon, she showed up with a pie and a map. She wanted to propose a walking trail that would run near the edge of my orchard. Kids kept cutting through old man Shelby's lawn, and this would give them a safer way to the footbridge. I liked Lisa direct, no nonsense. We hashed it out. I agreed, but only if they planted a privacy buffer and promised no events, no structures, and if the HOA ever folded, the easement came back to me. She nodded. Deal. Left the pie, too. Blackberry. But Tom wasn't done. Started a rumor campaign, said I'd been bribed. Claimed Lisa was making backroom deals. Some of the HOA folks actually believed it until the emails got leaked. One of the neighbors forwarded screenshots to everyone. That shut it down quick. And then the fireworks, yeah, literal fireworks. Turns out the HOA had stored illegal Class B shells in a shed that didn't even meet code. Squirrels chewed through the fuses and set off part of the stash. Scared the whole subdivision half to death. Guess who ordered them with his own money, Tom? Guess who tried to get reimbursed after the event was canceled? Also, Tom. The board said no. Fire marshal fined him $4,000 a day until he cleared it all out. He had 8 days. Next month, developers came sniffing around, sent out glossy brochures talking about luxury townhomes, synergizing with the new trail. Their site plan showed my meadow labeled Phase 2 amenities. Without asking me, at the zoning meeting, I brought the whole binder photos, flood maps, deed copies, and stood next to Lisa and Jasper, one of the veterans. I told the room about the pirate ship, the trespassing, the vandalism, and the fireworks fiasco. Then I planted a cedar post right next to the podium and said, if public benefit starts with threats, swing the hammer. Otherwise, leave this post standing. The commissioners voted 4-0 against the project. That night, I walked the trail alone, just me and the sound of the creek. The fence glowed under the moonlight, and for once, everything was quiet. So yeah, maybe I was harsh. Maybe I was territorial. But they crossed a line, and I drew one right back. What would you? What would you have done? Would you have let them throw that party, or built the condos? Let me know in the comments. Was I right or just stubborn hit? Like if you've ever had to deal with an HOA nightmare, and share this with someone who knows how fast a neighborhood can turn into a battlefield. And hey, next time, someone strings party lights across your land without asking, remember cedar. Posts a flashlight, and a little stubborn pride go a long way.